A lecture on the values and principles of friendship rooted in faith, hope, and purpose. Presented by Dr. Michael J. Winfield, Sr., author of Before You Pledge, Essential Information You Should Know About Black Greek Letter Organizations and the Dynamics of Pledging in a Culture of Hazing, with a foreword by J.T. Ted Childs, Jr. Friendship, at its core, is a tapestry woven with trust, sacrifice, love, and unwavering presence. From ancient scrolls of faith emerge stories where friendship defies bloodlines, borders, and personal cost, testimonies that still echo through hearts today. To begin with, there is Abraham, the friend of God. Abraham walked not just as a servant or believer, but as one whom God called friend, Isaiah 41 verse 8. In the Bible, there is nowhere else where anyone is explicitly called God's friend. While God loved individuals like Enoch, King David, and granted great wisdom to Solomon, the title of friend is unique to Abraham. This highlights that true friendship in its purest form is a sacred duty that embodies trust and honor, and should not be taken lightly. Their relationship was marked by intimate dialogue and holy trust. Moreover, God did not hide his plans from Abraham. Instead, he shared the fate of Sodom, allowing Abraham to intercede. This wasn't mere obedience, it was companionship rooted in reverence and deep respect. Abraham's faith was not transactional or based on a quid pro quo, God, if you bless me, I will, etc. Instead, it was relational. His footsteps on desert sand mirrored a heart aligned with heaven's rhythm. Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These four stood together in faith under Babylonian rule. Their friendship was forged in fire, literally, as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego faced the furnace together, Daniel 3. Daniel later advocated for their promotion, showing how friends lift each other up instead of tearing one another down, especially in times of stress. Additionally, Elijah and Elisha's friendship serves as an example of friends standing together through challenging times. Elisha's refusal to leave Elijah's side, even when Elijah urged him to stay behind, 2 Kings 2 verse 2. Their friendship was built on respect and spiritual dedication. Elisha's loyalty was rewarded with a double portion of Elijah's spirit, a legacy passed through friendship. However, friendship is not perfect, as we learn from the biblical Job and his friends. Though flawed in their comfort, Job's friends initially sat with him in silence for 7 days, sharing in his grief, Job 2 verses 11 to 13. Their presence reminds us that sometimes friendship means simply showing up, even when words fail or we may say the wrong things in trying to help. Next, Ruth and Naomi stand out as an example of friendship that tests the boundaries of loyalty beyond blood. Ruth's pledge to Naomi remains one of Scripture's most moving declarations of love and devotion. Where you go, I will go, your people will be my people. Ruth 1 verse 16. Naomi, broken by loss, would have returned alone to Bethlehem, but Ruth chose solidarity over security. Their bond transcended cultural divide. A Moabite daughter-in-law choosing the path of widowhood and foreign soil just to be near Naomi. In that journey, Ruth found redemption, and Naomi discovered hope again, not through miracle but through friendship. Like Ruth and Naomi, the story of David and Jonathan illustrates the strength of brotherhood in the face of power. Their souls were knit together by courage and covenant. Jonathan, as the heir to King Saul, should have regarded David as a rival. However, he stripped himself of his royal robes to uplift the shepherd boy chosen by God. Their friendship was defined by fierce loyalty, even as Saul's jealousy grew. Jonathan defended David by warning him of danger and pledging his allegiance, not to a crown but to a friend. Their story teaches us that true friendship is not about political convenience but rather about selfless alignment with truth and love. Furthermore, it highlights the importance of respecting God's theocratic arrangement. Jonathan willingly upheld David as God's anointed king, despite his own legitimate claim to the throne. Additionally, Jonathan was 20 years older than David, yet their mutual respect based on their positions demonstrates that in fraternal organizations, older and younger members can come together in friendship regardless of age or status. Through his gifts to David, Jonathan affirmed his commitment to stand by him, with each gift symbolizing a covenant. First, Jonathan gave David his robe. In 1 Samuel 18 verse 4, it is noted that he removed his royal robe, the garment that signified his status as crown prince, and gave it to David. This powerful gesture indicated that Jonathan recognized David as worthy of honor and possibly the future king. It symbolized a relinquishing of status and acknowledged David's destiny. Next, Jonathan presented David with his sword and bow, signifying protection, trust, and shared strength. In ancient times, weapons were not merely tools of war, they represented a warrior's identity. By giving them to David, Jonathan pledged his support and defense, even against his own father, King Saul. Finally, Jonathan gave David his belt, a component of a soldier's uniform often used to carry weapons and signify rank. This act was a sign of solidarity and honor, symbolizing readiness for battle and shared purpose. These gifts were not just material objects, they were covenantal. Jonathan was effectively saying, "I stand with you not just as a friend but as a brother." And finally, the ancient account of Damon and Pythias, a testament to true friendship. In ancient Syracuse, under the rule of the tyrant Dionysius, two young men, Damon and Pythias, stood as living proof that friendship could defy fear, injustice, and even death. Pythias, a follower of the philosopher Pythagoras, was accused of plotting against Dionysius and sentenced to death. Calmly accepting his fate, he asked for time to return home and settle his affairs. The tyrant scoffed, suspecting a trick. However, Damon stepped forward and offered himself as a hostage, pledging his life in place of his friends. He declared that if Pythias failed to return, he would die in his stead. Days passed and the appointed hour drew near. Dionysius prepared for Damon's execution, mocking his faith in Pythias. Yet Damon remained steadfast, saying, "If he does not return, it will be because he is hindered, not because he is untrue." Just as the executioner raised his hand, Pythias burst onto the scene, bruised and breathless. He had been delayed by storms and pirates but managed to swim to shore and race across the land to honor his word. The crowd gasped in amazement. Moved by their devotion, Dionysius pardoned them both, declaring he had never seen such loyalty. Damon and Pythias remind us that true friendship is not just emotional, it is ethical. It is a covenant of trust that holds firm even when the world falls apart. Throughout history, stories reflect a common theme of friendship. At the dawn of the 20th century, organizations like Sigma Pi Phi and the Divine Nine faced numerous challenges. Their histories showcase resilience during turbulent times, including World War I, the Great Depression, and the Civil Rights Movement. These organizations drew strength from friendship, helping them endure hardships and achieve remarkable accomplishments. If you are a member or aspire to join one of these organizations, reflect on the importance of friendship, and may your life embody the qualities of a true friend.
We hope you enjoyed listening to the lecture on friendship. This presentation was brought to you by Quest Excel Multimedia LLC. If you would like to learn more about Black Greek Letter Organization and their incredible rise to prominence in the early 20th century, as well as discover more about the 10 organizations that make up the League of Friendship, inclusive of the Divine Nine, please consider purchasing a copy of Before You Pledge, Essential Information You Should Know About Black Greek Letter Organizations, and the Dynamics of Pledging in a Culture of Hazing, by Dr. Michael J. Winfield, with a foreword by J.T. Childs Jr. available on Amazon.com. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Support this channel with your contributions.